just that little tick is enough of a note for you to just go, no, ask another question, make sure that they're all right.
Exactly. And that's actually, so those cues are one of the things that I try to educate my soldiers on. I'm, thank God, now in an infantry battalion. It's a great unit. And they're built strongly on brotherhood and understanding each other. And so it's one of the things that I try to empower all those soldiers is that, hey, you guys know each other better than I'm ever going to know you, right? I care about all my guys. I've got over 700 guys in my battalion. I know all the command teams care about their guys. But at the end of the day, they know each other. They're sleeping in the same barracks with each other, right? They're in the field with each other. And so some of those things are, if you see, hey, the guy's normally in a good mood, right? And you start to see that's changing. He's not making jokes the way he used to, right? These aren't, I can tell everyone, you don't have to be a mental health professional to be a good friend, right? And sometimes it's just realizing that, hey, this person's not acting themselves, and you can be that one to, just like you said, ask one extra question, just show a little extra care, and that I find can make all the world of difference.
When people are talking to their mates, and is there something that you can point out and see from the experience of psychologist to chaplaincy, also being in barracks where if you're a service member, you really need to be working in cohesion with your unit, because if everyone's not flowing well, Absolutely. Then the whole team struggles from Absolutely. That.
Yeah, so at the end, I think the big things are if you see change in behavior, change in mood, right? They're starting to pull back. They're not as social as they used to be. These can be signs that, hey, this person's might be having a hard time. And again, it doesn't mean that it's a mental health crisis. But my personal goal is to try to be there for these guys before it gets to that point. Try to, intercede, be proactive before it gets to the point where they feel they have to seek me out or behavioral health or anything like that. I try to, again, empower the soldiers to, hey, refer your friend, right? Hey, if you see your friend's not being himself, right? He's having trouble back home or at home, wherever it might be. Tell them, hey, why don't you go see the chaplain, right? You have confidentiality, right? And I've found that to be very effective. I actually do get a lot of referrals for, hey, my friend said I should come see you. And I think that's, it builds a lot of trust within the unit that their friends are looking out for each other and that there is a place that they can come and talk.
Now being in an infantry unit, what do you see of the intensity that an infantry unit takes on that's different to maybe other forms of work or other forms of life? Which obviously it is, but what are you seeing in it?
Yeah, so just in my time in the Army, so I was in a signal battalion before that, which in charge of the internet and the infrastructure. It's kind of a high pace in its own way.
Always new Jews on the internet.
What's that? Yeah, exactly. It's a different group. The infantry expects a lot of their guys, right? They're out there. I'm always very humbled by watching what these guys do, right? They're out there giving it their all. They're sleeping on the ground. I'm out in the jungle, right? They're sleeping on the ground in the rain, and they're expected to perform, right? It is a life and death situation, that job. And so there is sort of a need at times to sort of just push those feelings down and push difficulties down because, hey, they still have a mission to do that's very important. And so I feel like especially young guys can get caught up in that sort of macho, hey, I don't need to talk about my feelings, right? I don't need to talk about what's going on, because that's just sort of the environment that it's in. And so I try my best to break that stigma. I mean, I'm in an amazing unit. All the command team also tries to push them to understand that, hey, you have to, just like you take care of your physical health, right? We have to take care of our mental health as well. And so I think infantry definitely has its own unique challenges in that regard. But I feel like it's also a group of guys that are very self-aware, that they're very aware of when they're having challenges. At least in my experience, they've also been probably the most willing and understanding to come seek out help.